your silent and unheard views in this hugely green community in the United Kingdom, our channel, Ben TV, presents to you another live current affairs television program. Our focus on the program is to review and discuss issues around the diaspora community in the UK. The program offers you that unrestricted voice on issues affecting you in the UK. Join us live every Monday at 10 a.m. to 12 noon. As part of our continued efforts to reach the African and other ethnic communities in. Thank you for joining us and welcome back, and still dialogue in diaspora. Joining me now are two young people talking about Ghana, the future of Ghana. It's no news that Ghana will be celebrating 68th independence very soon, and how far has Ghana gone and how far has Africa as a continent gone. We'll be looking at that generally, and of course what their organization also does. Joining me is Sandra Osei Asare. Sandra, thank you for joining us on the program today.
Thank you for having us.
And also with Sandra is Ben Anim-Antwi. Ben Anim-Antwi, thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you for having us.
They are from the Future of Africa charity committed to issues of the development of Ghana and Alpha Ghana can go as gone. What can be done to further improve development in Ghana and generally on Africa. Sandra, Ghana may have come a long way, 60 years.
Yes, sir.
How far? What do you think? Do you think Ghana has actually fulfilled the dreams of his founding fathers? Do you think that?
I think Ghana has certainly come far since independence. We've had, a few ups and downs, but Ghana has been recognised as a fast-growing economy in the past, say, 4 to 5 years. We've had lots of investment, international global investment, coming to the country rather, over the past recent years. Another, development is the youth. So the youth has really taken a standpoint. They've kind of focused on stimulating enterprise and impacting business and finding ways to shape policy in Ghana. So the youth, make up a large percent of the country, and the youth have become really enterprising. They're taking a stand, to see Ghana, really, really grow and advance. And that's where our interest lies.
Ben.
Yes.
Ghana, like any other African country, has gone through its own challenges.
Yes.
Leadership, management, corruption, lack of infrastructure. How do you think these challenges have impacted on national growth and development?
Good and bad. I mean, obviously, one of the challenges that Ghana has faced of late, particularly, is unemployment and youth unemployment, particularly amongst the youth. And obviously that's meant it's hard, obviously, for young people to attain jobs and get the necessary job skills, which is why what Sandra said in terms of youth becoming a lot more entrepreneurial, and they're taking a stand and using other ways to generate jobs and income themselves. We've had challenges with corruption, we've had challenges with sort of transparency, but I mean, all of that for me sort of boils down to ethical leadership and people understanding the ethics of running a country, so to speak. In 2015, we went to Ashersi to host a youth leadership forum, and Ashersi is a particularly valid point because it's a university that sort of focuses specifically on ethical leadership and tries to train up young leaders per se to think ethically when looking to run a country.
We do have a situation where Africa is still struggling with some of its natural resources that is being blessed with. The leadership across Africa generally tend to have mismanaged the resources. Do you think that generally the problem Africa faces today is that of leadership?
Yes and no. I think leadership is a big issue. You know, obviously you need leaders that are going to be transparent, that are going to be ethical, you know, in their movements. So leadership is key. But for us, we generally focus on the youth, and we think the youth can play a big part in that, in overcoming challenges like that. You know, and particularly diaspora. So often our mantra is actually what can, you know, if you're Ghanaian or if you're African in the diaspora, what can you do to give back to your country of origin? What skills can you give to aid their development?
Africa's biggest resource is its people. So, you know, there's a report, Mo Ibrahim report, that says that in less than 3 generations, the world's youth will be African. 50% of the world's youth will be African. So for us, our focus is ensuring that the African youth are ready to compete on that global level, and that Africa really benefits from this demographic dividend. And I think there's other statistics that say that, you know, the labour force, African labour force, will be larger than China's, you know, in 2035, which isn't far off at all. So the future of Ghana is really invested in building the capacity of its young people, so that they are ready to run the country. And I think where we're concerned, when we talk about leadership, we talk about governance, you know, self-governance. You know, how can you be an ethical leader? What makes an ethical leader? You know, how can you take a stand so that you're not repeating some of the mistakes that have happened previously? What can you do as an individual to ensure that, you know, the country is going to thrive and succeed, and not, you know, as it's typically been known, you know, Africans will look after their own, and we're trying to change that narrative so that everybody's thinking generations ahead.
How the youth actually been given the opportunity, knowing that they constitute the bulk of the strength of the assets of that continent? Are they being exposed to enough opportunities in that continent, Sandra?
I would say with the growth of tech and computer and social media and the accessibility of that, again, the youth are becoming a lot more enterprising and a lot more proactive. They're creating opportunities for themselves. They, you know, one of our objectives is our annual publication, which recognises Ghanaian excellence. You know, young people that are doing pioneering things, and we've found that a lot of these young pioneers, you know, who are under 30, are, you know, they're creating opportunities for themselves. They're creating income for themselves. So I think Africa is lucky, and they're at a place where they can really take advantage at a world level, at a global level, because of social media, because of the internet, because of technology. They can create jobs, businesses for themselves, and make a living from it. So, yeah.
I just echo exactly what Sandra says, and I think what the disappointing thing is that you have a lot of these incubator hubs, and you have these programs that are designed to train up entrepreneurs in Ghana and Africa, but they're coming from outside. So you look at YALI, the youth leadership initiative that was put in place by Obama's administration, by America. It's another outside force that is coming to train up. You know, we should be doing this ourselves.
Does that program actually make any impact? It does seem like only few lucky selected African youth. Can you actually call them youth? Probably friends of people in power, government.
Well, I know. Ironically, one of our judges for the Future of Ghana 2017 actually sits on the panel for YALI, and I know it's a very rigorous process. But a number of even pioneers that we've come across in the last couple of years have actually been on that course, and it has, from the feedback they've given us, it has helped them. And these are ordinary people that have just, you know, had an idea, started, you know, had a startup, and they've gone there and they've sort of like fine-tuned their startup, and they've become what they've become. So, and
been able to take back that experience back to you know, their peers back home. So
now let's look at the Ghanaians in the UK. How well are they doing for themselves, contributing to their
doing well, isn't it?
Sandra, let me start
incredibly well. We're doing all right.
I know.
Well, I would say since launching our annual publication, Future of Ghana, top 30, under 30. It's almost equivalent to, you know, the Forbes of Ghana. The publication celebrates excellence. We look out for young people. We call them pioneers, young people who are talented, who are, as I mentioned earlier, stimulating enterprise, impacting business, shaping policy. There are really extremely talented Ghanaians all over the globe, doing really impressive things. Would you?
Absolutely, yeah. And I think, you know, our publication shows there's many from the UK doing amazing things. There's a Gooba platform as well. Friends of ours who celebrate every 2 years Ghanaians in the UK doing
Ghana UK Business Awards.
Yeah. So, you know, there's clearly Ghanaians doing great things, but part of the mission with the Future of Ghana is how do we leverage that? So we want to mobilize people. So we want to come together, create a network of all these great people doing great things in the UK, right, in Germany, Canada, and then come together and actually say, look, how can we best, you know, utilize our skills for the development of Ghana, Africa, whatever country it may be. And this is what we're looking at, because the skills are there.
The skills are there.
You know.
Yeah, it's about creating a network.
If we take a look at the black community in the UK generally, especially youth and young adults, the challenges facing them seems to be very enormous, from the criminal justice system. 5 out of every suspect, or 2, 3 out of every suspect, find out there'll be a black person. The criminal justice system has been accused of not being fair, stop and search. But of course, do you think the criminal justice system can actually be blamed, considering the level of gang activities among the black youth in London especially? Let me start with you.
Okay.
Ben.
So you talk about the criminal justice system?
Yes, and the level of gang activities among the black youth in the UK.
Yeah, you know, you don't need me to tell you that, you know, we all know there's a problem. There's an issue there. The criminal justice system obviously is there to serve. Does it do it effectively enough? I'm not sure. I'm not entirely, you know, happy with stop and search. I don't really think it's that effective. In fact, it creates, in my view, sort of racial profiling, if you will. So I don't really know how effective that is. But just to bring it back again to the publication, a lot of these problems, I think, stem from disenfranchised young men. And, you know, with the publication, a lot of it is about relatability. So if you can see someone that looks like you, that's come where you're from, and they've done amazing things, and you can read about them, then that's going to put a seed in your heart to inspire you to think, maybe I don't need to go down the criminal route. Maybe I can achieve something. Because, you know, a lot of the stories of the pioneers that we've showcased over the years have come from very dark places where nothing was expected, and they've managed to somehow, you know, get their lives in order and achieve great things. So it's role models, it's relatability, and the criminal justice system is there. It serves its purpose. But we as a community, as a network, have a responsibility. We use that word a lot, don't we, in Future of Ghana, to build up and capacity build each other and say, look, I've got the skills, you know, how can I help you? How can you help me? So we're together in this, you know? And that's what we need to do more as a community, not just Ghana.
I'm sure, Ben, while you were growing up, you must have seen many of your peers being attacked, or either victims of knife, gun, or themselves suspects. What is wrong with this that generation, with this generation? This attack is black to black. Yeah. What is wrong?
That's the $1 million question. I think if people knew the answer, then, you know, we'd be in a better position than we are to stop it. It does say it's a number of issues, you know. You can go deep into it and sort of look at sort of the postcode rivalries in different areas, sort of, you know, against each other, and all of it, for me, it just stems from, you know, a lack of knowledge. You know, what we've discovered along our journey is that access to information is key. You know, if people don't have the access to information, they feel like they can't do anything, and they feel disenfranchised and disillusioned. You know, so for me, you know, the very fact that you would, you know, be a rival against somebody who lives 2 streets away from you, you've never met them, is nonsensical. It doesn't make any sense. But it's because amongst themselves they have a sense of belonging. You know, this is my gang. But what we need to do is create another gang, a network, a gang of
network.
Exactly, for positivity rather than negativity.
For excellence.
For excellence, exactly.
Sandra, I mean, as a young lady, when you hear these things, you read about these things, somebody has been attacked, killed, knifed, what comes to your mind? And if you look at this black boy, knifed by another black boy, everywhere, what comes to your mind?
It's really disheartening.
What do you think is wrong? What is actually the problem? Is it the parents, the community, the society?
I don't think there's a right or wrong answer, as Ben mentioned, but how I feel is it's quite disheartening. But at the same time, there are a lot of young black youths, male and females, that are doing, you know, really inspiring things. And I think, you know, we shouldn't, you know, take our eyes off or overlook, you know, the good that's coming out of our community. As I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of young black people who are really enterprising and creating opportunities for themselves and trying to overcome the barriers or the glass ceilings that have been put up, because they're there, you know, and all of those things kind of bring about insecurity, you know, they bring about fear. So, you know, people have their back up against the wall. They're going to go out and do their own thing. They're going to ignore the law. They're going to ignore, you know, the values, and they're going to do their own thing. But we must not take our eyes off the people that are doing really well. And I think push that more to the forefront, because those people change the narrative. Those people that, you know, are perhaps, you know, stuck in this culture, gang culture, perhaps they're not exposed to what else is happening out there. Peers, people their age group are doing, you know, really pioneering things. It's just a thing of exposure. They need to be able to see, actually, this person came from the same street I came from the same country I came from, but they're doing well. They're making a living for themselves. I think we need to take our eyes off the negative sometimes and really, you know, give props to those that are trying to make a difference for themselves. And I think the responsibility does lie with, you know, family, with the community as a whole, you know, with us doing what we're doing with our initiative, celebrating excellence, you know, and just changing the narrative.
Well, I've been talking with Sandra Osei Asare and Ben Anim Antwi. They're joining me on the show today. We're looking at Ghana as 60. I will still have a couple of more minutes with this guys with me in the studio. Ben,
yes, sir.
What does the future hold for Ghana?
The future's bright. I mean, we have challenges. We've come 60 years. You know, we've done well in some aspects, but we've got a lot more to give. You know, I don't think we've scratched the surface. And me doing this initiative and seeing the talent out there and seeing the ideas that are out there is just really heartwarming. It gives me hope, because these are not just people saying, okay, I'm going to make an income. These are people actually making an income based off solving solutions, solutions to problems that are going to help the country. All they need is the relevant, whether it be finance or funding or the era of government. And this is what we try to do. We try, as a charity, we try to bring the youth agenda to the government and make sure that they know that, look, there's people on your doorstep that are doing great things, and you need to support them in order to help the country grow. So the future's bright. No doubt.
Sandra, mobilizing Ghanaian youth to contribute to the economy and technological development of Ghana may be critical to the future of Ghana. How much support are you getting with your organization from Ghana, other people in government or corporate institutions to get done what you're doing?
The support has been incredible. We are a global family. I mean, the way we operate is through diaspora engagement. So the diaspora are really keen to also give back and contribute towards Ghana's development. Here we have lots of support from the Ghana High Commission. There are loads of other charities and organisations that are of the same agenda and are keen to see Ghana advance. And we all partner through events, through networking. And in Ghana itself, you know, there's organisations out there who are privy to what we're doing, and we're privy to what they're doing. And it's a global family. We're all working towards the same agenda. We're all working towards changing the narrative of Ghana and Africa as a whole.
Changing the narrative? What narrative?
The narrative that Africa is unable to succeed on its own or advance on its own, or advance at all.
Has it shown that capability?
I think it's starting to. I think with the rise of technology, I think Africa is able and is ready to compete on the global level, yes. And I think that's evident through the rise of investment in various African countries.
Ben, is that reality or a dream?
I think that is reality. Like Sandra says, it's coming. It's coming there slowly. But I also think, you know, the thing behind changing the narrative is to highlight the positive, because of where Africa's come from and the fact that it's a developing nation, developing continent in some aspects. When something goes wrong, it's highlighted. You know, the microphone glass is on Africa. Oh, corruption. You know, but when there's positive, it's less so. So we need to showcase the positives more. I mean, you'd be surprised by how much people are actually doing on the continent that you don't know about. You know what I mean? If you just engage with people and you find out these things, you'd be very surprised. So it's definitely a reality. We want to, you know, our overall vision is to see a self-sustaining Ghana, a Ghana that can sustain itself. And we know that, you know, that's a long way off, but, you know, we're building the foundations, we feel, for that to happen. And it's all about changing your mindset and narrative, you know, and believing that it can happen. Because why can't it happen? You know, the skills, the people are there.
It's there.
It's there. You just got to change our mindset.
So, as a continent with opportunities everywhere, why are African youth, Nigerian, Ghanaian, Senegalese youth all looking to escape from the continent to Europe or
Exactly.
to America or to the United Kingdom?
Again, it's about changing narrative and mindset and believing that, look, you know, you can actually make it where you are. Of course, look, let's not beat around the bush. You know, there's great educational institutions in America, in the UK, in other parts of Europe, in the West. There's great opportunities there. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's on us. It's a responsibility to us to build up Africa. We can't always look to the West to finance us. We need to use our own skills. And moreover, if we do leave, you know, we need to come back in some way. And this is the narrative that we bring, is that even if you're in the diaspora, think about how you can contribute to the development of Ghana. And when you start doing that, then the mindset of the people resident there will change, because you will see that the diaspora are so anxious. I mean, I don't have the statistics to hand, but, you know, over the last couple of years, the amount of people that have gone back to Ghana to resettle from diaspora is on the increase. So there's a want and there's a need for people to go back and settle, because, you know, when you're young and you're about 10 years old and you're born in the diaspora, it's all about the country you are. As soon as you get older, you start finding a sense of identity. You start looking around and thinking, where am I actually from? And then you start connecting. And if you have children, you want to pass on that to your children. And suddenly you think, you know what? I actually need to connect from where I'm from. And this is what people do. So, you know, it's a mindset change, mindset shift.
All right, we're still talking about the future of Ghana. Ghana assisting on the 16th of March 2016. Ben Television will be hosting the president of Ghana, His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo, at the Metropolitan University here in London, in a one-day investment forum called Ghana Housing, Developing Ghana Housing and Tourism Sector. Special guest is His Excellency the President of Ghana, Nana Akufo-Addo, on the 15th, on the 16th of March at the London Metropolitan University. You don't want to miss it. Just have to be there to know what Ghana has got to offer, the opportunities in Ghana, and where you stand, wherever you are from Africa, to take opportunities of available in Ghana. So you don't need to miss that. Ghana seems to be doing, West Africa, generally Nigeria, Ghana seems to be on top, doing very well for it. So you see most, even Nigerian businesses relocating to Ghana. You see Nollywood being produced in Ghana now. Kind of that interwoven relationship. That's positive.
Absolutely.
But what are your thoughts when you see Africans being killed by Africa, say for instance in the xenophobic attack in South Africa?
Yeah, I heard about that. I think that's awful. It's terrible. And I know that, you know, Nigerian nationals of late have been affected by it, but there was a time when the same type of things were happening to Ghanaian nationals. Actually, I think that was sometime last year. And it's crazy to think that, you know, that people would actually do that. But again, it's mindset, because you know they will look at it as what are these Nigerians or what are these Ghanaians or what are these West Africans coming to South Africa for, to take our jobs. It's a similar thing when you look, you know, with foreign influx in the West or in Europe. People will say, look, these foreigners are here to take our jobs, instead of thinking, you know what, we can all create opportunities, we can all network, and actually you might have something to offer the country that we don't have, and we can come together.
Sandra.
Yeah, just to add to Ben's point, I don't think it's an African problem per se. I think it's a human problem. It's a case of, you know, protecting your land, you know, securing yours and not allowing anybody to infiltrate or come in. It's just it's a form of tribalism which is found everywhere. It's not an African thing. It happens in the West as well. But again, just to add to Ben's earlier point, that when it is in Africa, the problem is highlighted and it becomes an African problem. It's not an African problem. It's human nature to want to protect your own.
All right, Sandra Osei Asare, thank you for being part of the program today.
Thank you for
Ben
having us.
and Antwi, thank you for joining us. But before I let you guys go, your organization, how are you contributing to Africa diaspora community? What are you out to accomplish?
We're about mobilising and showcasing and nurturing Ghanaian talent through the use and the support of the diaspora. We create a network, a global network of Ghanaians and Africans all over who are keen to develop the continent, who are keen to give back to the continent, who see the continent as a responsibility for themselves as well. We provide a platform through our organisation for those who are shaping policy, influencing or impacting business all over. We provide a platform for them to showcase, you know, what's happening. People, as Ben said, there's so much happening, so many young Africans doing great things. People don't know what they're doing. The world needs to put a spotlight on Africans so that they know what's happening.
Do you want to add something?
Yeah, no, someone just hit the nail on the head. That's what we do. I mean, we're that engagement tool for diasporans to say, look, this is African excellence, and you know, be part of the network, get involved, see how you can contribute to the development of Ghana. We have a youth leadership forum that takes place in Ghana that we have. Obviously, it takes place in Ghana, but it's not just open to Ghanaians. It's open to anyone from the diaspora to come and attend, learn from people that business leaders, you know, people that been through it themselves, gain experience. We've had, if we had another hour, we could tell you so much stories
that we've done.
Success stories about the leadership forum, about people that have come there and their lives have been transformed just by hearing, you know, I mean, inspirational words, or you know, a tangible way to do things. You know, so it's incredible. It's about providing a platform. Once you provide that platform, you know, things fall into place. But the platform's key.
Fantastic, gentlemen. Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on the program today, Sandra. It's a pleasure having you on the show. Ben, thank you for coming on the show. Let me use the opportunity to invite you guys to join Ben Television on the 16th of March 2016 at London Metropolitan University, where we'll be hosting the president. The president will be coming to attend the Commonwealth Africa Initiative, and he's going to be taking time out to be part of Ben TV's economic program for Ghana on the 16th. We'll send you more information, but officially, just letting you guys know. We'll be proud to have you guys join.
Thank you. Excellent.
Part of it. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, we're going on a very short break now. And when we come back, we'll be going to Abuja. We'll be taking some news clip from interview from the chair of the ASO Representative Committee on Diaspora, Honorable Rita Orji. She'll be talking about the xenophobic attack in Ghana once we come back from this break. Don't go away. To review and discuss issues around the diaspora community in the UK. The program offers you the unrestricted voice on issues affecting you in the UK. Join us live every Monday at 10 a.m. to 12 noon. As part of